I'm back. I got a new thing for the microphone and I got a new lens and I got some toys for a set I'm building, like with TV related stuff that will be in the background, but it'll still take me a couple of videos just to get everything right. Anyway, Sam and Dean, let's do it. Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and I just realized how much I missed saying that sentence. And let's talk about Supernatural. So while I was in Vancouver, I had the chance to go to a party that for some reason was Supernatural themed. They had the car there and they made a video of you where you pretend to drive it and a monster comes at you, and it was a good time. Now I've been watching Supernatural for the past year or so. I'm currently watching season 10. But for some reason I've never been able to commit emotionally to the show. I mean, I watch it, but am I part of the fandom? And if you haven't watched it, should you start? Should you actually get into it? Because it's a lot. So you probably know this, but Supernatural tells the story of two brothers, Sam and Dean, and their lives as hunters of anything supernatural. Each season generally combines Freak of the Week episodes with an overarching story. So what makes you watch a show for 10 seasons? And how did I figure out that I am indeed a fan of the show? Well, first I gotta say, Supernatural is an example of being greater than the sum of its parts. The acting is usually not great and the writing isn't particularly amazing either. And there are plenty of episodes that are just cheesy templates of each other, where Sam and Dean come rolling into town, take on some monster, eventually kill it with the power of bad CGI, and just move on. The things I've come to love about Supernatural are the overarching stories, the way they decided to take on things like demons and angels and God, their creative takes on classic monsters, the themed episode that either pay tribute to some movie or genre or just plain fun, and obviously all of the fan service and meta stuff. The show is painfully aware of itself. Most seasons have an episode where the show gets to make fun of itself, and the fans too. The characters in Supernatural and the dynamics between them, while again not awfully well acted, do get pretty deep and complex, and there are some characters that are really worth getting to know. It's not to say that the show doesn't have issues, it has a lot of them. You can easily skip about 50% of the episodes and you'll be fine. As far as Freak of the Week goes, there are some really good ones, but most of them, you've seen one, you've seen them all. You can't really call it filler because it's the bulk of the show. Also, season 1 for me was pretty rough to get through. It took me a while to get going with this show. I thought Supernatural kind of peaked at season 4, and after that, while still being fun and at times really interesting, the show tends to repeat itself. It makes plenty of fun of itself for doing so, but that doesn't make it okay. There are some stories that just keep repeating themselves almost every season after season 4, just with slight variations. So someone else died and then he came back, but he didn't come back the same, and then they did something terrible to make him the same, which affected someone else. So it took me 9 seasons of the show to admit I'm a fan. Why? I'm not sure, but when I saw that car in Vancouver, I was excited. I was taking pictures with it. I was sitting in it and pretending to drive, and I saw the Devil's Trap in the trunk, and I was like, oh, no. That was the moment when I said to myself, all right, I'm a part of this fandom. I mean, I would have been more excited if it was the TARDIS, but yeah, I was still pretty excited. Right after that, I actually watched Fanfiction, the season 10 meta fan service episode and the 200th episode of the show, and getting every single reference in that episode and enjoying the crap out of it also kind of further proved to myself that, yeah, Supernatural can be good and it can be terrible, and I kinda love it. If you haven't watched it or are just getting into it, I would advise you not to watch every episode, because that will take you all the time there is in the world, ever. And let me remind you, there are still other shows you have to binge. There's an incredibly useful article on Den of Geek that maps out episodes of the show according to what you're into. The best Freak of the Week stuff, the best meta stuff, or my favorite, only the story arc episode. Because some of these story arcs, while over the top and sometimes ridiculous, can be pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. They also give you notes on what episodes to squeeze in if you have time, or what episodes are just great and you have to see them anyway. So what do you think about Supernatural? What's your favorite meta moment? Do you think the show is terrible, or do you think it's great? I sometimes agree with both. Let's get the discussion going, and also let me know if there's something more specific about Supernatural you want me to make a video about. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, it helps out a lot. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome! We're talking about TV every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with stories, news, reviews, all kind of great stuff, all for you, fellow Binge Watchers and TV lovers. So you can go ahead and click that big subscribe button to join in on the fun, or you can check out any of the other videos on the channel. In any case, keep binging, and I will see you next time.